Hey there you guys, it is me, RandomJosh, and we're back with another video today, and today is our first part of our little mini-series that I am dubbing the 7 Deadly Sins makeup tutorials. So I thought we'd kick this off a little bit saucy, as you can see. So this is my look inspired by lust. So very lustful, very naughty, very sexual. So if you want to see how I achieved this look, then stay tuned. It will be coming right now. Right, so as always, we are kicking this off with priming the skin. So I am using my Revolution Pro Pore Perfecting Primer just to get those pores under control and give us a nice clean base. And then I'm also going in with my Maybelline Anti-Redness Primer as well here. So just covering that face just to get rid of any redness through the skin. My skin has been going through some trauma, so let's, try and treat it well and get rid of all of the natural redness that we have going on. So yeah, just working that into the skin, including the chest area, as we have obviously got that on show today. So then we're jumping in with my, of course, Fenty Beauty foundation. So just working that through my facial skin, and I will also be taking this underneath onto my chest area. Again, where this is more on show today, I wanted to just bring it all the way down. Probably in theory should have done my shoulders as well because they are on show, but I didn't, so that's where we're at. So yeah, just making sure that it is nice and buffed in there, so getting a nice lovely finish, making sure that we have definitely covered all of the bases there, because we don't want no peekaboo blemishes coming through, I want it to be nice and clean looking. So sorry that took so long. So now we are powdering the skin, so yes, getting the Revolution translucent powder everywhere. I think I went a little bit ham today on this one, so we are looking a little bit pale, but I just kind of was a bit heavy-handed and didn't really think about what I was doing. I just kind of went for it. And my forehead was so sweaty, so that's why I was trying to cover those bits up. So yeah, just trying to make sure that we are nice and powdered so that we don't have, any sweatage happening, although it still sometimes comes through. That's just life, I guess. Life of a sweaty person. So yeah, just making sure that we are getting that coverage on and setting basically all of the foundation into place. Again, you do not need that much powder. I just love to go excessive. So now we're jumping in with our Hoola Benefit bronzer here. So I'm just carving out my cheekbones, as you can see, trying to make them extra snatched today, and just mainly focusing on the temples and the, I don't even know what to call that bit, just the side of the forehead, going over a little bit with lighter foundation contours, but yeah, the main chunks of it are going on the outer side just to shrink that forehead just ever so slightly, and then getting that jaw and nose contour done as well to make sure we are looking extra super fishy and snatched, because this is lust after all. We want to look hot, sister. We want to look extra super sexy, as you can see. So now we are jumping in with the Revolution Blusher Reloaded in Coral Dream. So I just wanted to use this one because it is so pink, so pigmented, and just gave that nice healthy glow to the entire look. Look at it, look. Oh, Girl, I'm amazing. So now just jumping in with my P. Louise eyeshadow base in the shade Canvas, just so that we can essentially get a nice canvas down for some, you know, fairly intense pigments to go onto the skin. So I will just state that this does kind of impact the colour change to it, because it was originally red and it did go a little bit pinky, which you will see very soon. But yeah, we digress. So we're jumping in first of all with the shade Blaze, and just essentially marking that through the crease of the eye, just to stencil out roughly where we want that shade to go. So yeah, going the whole way through the eye. So this is essentially acting as a bit of a middle kind of transitional shade. I still wanted it to be bold, but I wanted it to be blendable, so we can kind of buff that into something a little more, you know, not natural. It's obviously a very intense looking eye, but you can still kind of buff it out into something a little less bold and more subtle. So yeah, we're just going in with a flatter brush now and just essentially building a bit of the colour, but also just blending it out in the shape that we want it. So I'm winging it out a little bit. Again, I didn't want to go too OTT with the wing, although it is a bit more OTT than you'd probably expect, because this is obviously, you know, it's meant to be this way, put it that way. So yeah, just wanted to kind of get that colouring in and make sure all those lines were nice and crisp, just to begin with, so that we are fully ready. And it is obviously quite a large eye, as you can see, because I wanted it to be visible. So next, jumping in with the shade Chili Pepper, and I'm essentially just working that through the inner corner, the outer corner of the eye, and just using a smaller fluffy brush just to blend that through that area and add a little bit of definition really to the eye. So it's not just one flat colour, it's opening the eye up that little bit, giving it a bit more three-dimensional feeling, and yeah, it just makes it a little bit better in general to add those different shades, give it a little bit more life. And yeah, so we're kind of just building it at the moment, so I'm not trying to go too ham. I didn't want to jump straight in with like an intense whack of colour and then have to try and awkwardly blend it out. So it's just continually going backwards and forwards between both eyes until you are completely happy with how it looks. And just keep blending. You will get there eventually, it will come through. So now we're going a little bit risky and going with a bit of black, which is the shade Black Beach. Now you want to be a bit more delicate and careful when using this, because you don't want to go too black, you don't want to overpower it. It's just essentially to deepen that corner even further. So I just used a pointed blending brush just so that I can control the area of which we are putting it. As you can see there, it just helps ever so slightly. And I wasn't originally going to go through the entire crease, but I kind of looked and I was like, actually that kind of looks quite nice to just have, even if it is the main focus point of it is through the outer corner, just to bring a little bit of it through to the mid-center and the inner corner of the eye very lightly. Again, you don't want to overpack it on that bit, so it just helps to open up the eye, give it that three-dimensional vibe, and look so stunning. Like, we are killing it right now. So now, of course, we cannot not add glitter to this look. So first of all, we're going in with the shade Pearl, and what I'm doing is just taking a flat brush and starting from the inner corner. As you can see, we haven't actually created a proper cut crease, but what I'm doing with these shades is just layering it over the original makeup, and it creates a essentially cut crease illusion with without actually having to do the concealer step. And then we're going in with the shade Rose Pink and just finalizing and connecting it to the darker shade on the outer corner, so through the mid to the outer corner of the eye. And this is just essentially focusing on the lid of the eye, but just lifting it ever so slightly so that even when you open your eyes, you can still roughly see a little bit of it. You don't want it to be too visible, but you want it to be visible enough that you can still see it. So now just repeating those shades that we used on top of the eye on the bottoms. So taking that shade Blaze first, just underneath the eye, getting that shading in, blending it through so it's not too intense again, and connecting it with the top piece there. And I tried not to bring it too far into the center, into the inner corner of the eye, because I wanted that bit to still have that kind of glowy vibe to it. So then yeah, going in with chili pepper on the outer corner, and then also a teeny weeny little bit of black beach, just again to connect everything together so it looks concise, it all blends together and it looks like one look. So now we are moving on to mascara. So this is the Benefit Roller Lash. So just coating the top of the lashes there, ready for a lovely bit of false lash application. So just making sure that those are nice and coated so that they can essentially bond with the lashes that we are using. So the ones that we're using today are the Sugar Lashes from Indigo Rose. These lashes are to die for. I mean, all of the Indigo Rose lashes, to be quite honest with you, are insanely stunning. So whatever ones you use, they're gonna be amazing. So yeah, just applying those on, and then I'm just going in with the mascara to again coat those lashes to make sure that they blend with the falsies, so we don't get any weird looking half and half lashes essentially. So now we're going on to eyebrows, and I'm using my Revolution brow pomades. So just brushing through those brows there, as you can see, getting them nice and prepped. So yeah, then just carving those out. We want them brows to look fleeky, so going in with the shade Taupe first, as always. I mean, I'm just basically doing my standard brow at this point, filling it in with Taupe and then adding slight more definition with the medium brown, especially adding to the tail of the eyebrow to make it that little bit sharper and a little bit deeper in colour. So yeah, we just want those brows to kind of look fresh, sharp, and like they are ready, you know? So yeah, I think this is us now going into the deeper shading. Just add a little bit more definition. No, it's not, you know, gonna be dramatically obvious, which is not what we want. We just want it to blend ever so slightly. So now on to lips, and this is the Makeup Academy lipstick in Heartbreaker. So this is super affordable. First of all, I was gobsmacked when I saw the price of this. It's like £1.50. But this shade, I just wanted to go with a quite reddy shade, but not too red, still a little bit on the pinky side, so that it looks like you're ready to go out on a night out, but you're still, you know, it's not too much, but it is too much at the same time. So this just fit in so perfectly. So making sure those lips are nice and coated and defined. Lovely stuff, gal, lovely. And now jumping in with our highlight. This is of course the Get Wet from Be Perfect, and this is Hollow Glaze. So I wanted to use this one because it had a little bit of a pink tone through it as well, so that you can see it already when the light hits it. It just shines as a pink, which is to die for, and also fit in and tied with this look so well. So I'm super happy that I went with that in the end, and just making sure that we are covering those areas. So now we're actually moving on to drawing some hickeys. So I'm using this, it's a bit of an older product that I have, but it is a Revolution SFX face paints palette. So I don't think they do this particular one anymore, but they do, I know, do some different ones. So I'm just starting with some purple to mark out where we're going to have our hickeys, and then jumping in with that red shade and just ever so slightly applying a little bit at a time, and then using a clean finger to dab that through. So I think for my ones, I did go a little bit insane, as you can see, and went a little bit big. So you don't need to go as big as I did. You can do them whatever sizes work best for you. But yeah, then I'm just going with a little bit of green as well, just to add a little bit more definition, but it completely depends on what kind of look you are going for. So yeah, just trying to blend that through, making sure that they are looking fierce and not too intense, which, to be quite honest with you, they are at this point, but trust me, we go back in and clear that up. So I noticed that they were looking a little bit more on the greeny side, so I put a bit more of the red through, just because I wanted them to look a bit more freshly bitten as such. But because they were quite stand-out-ish, I went in with just the translucent setting powder, whacked that over the top, and that muted down the tones, so it didn't look as intense and bold, but it also just looked a bit more natural this way. So that is the look completed. Alrighty there, guys. Well, thank you so much for staying tuned. We're looking a bit naughty at the moment, so gonna have to sort that out. Hopefully you enjoyed. But yeah, I hope that you did enjoy this tutorial. I'm actually loving this look. We had to add in the hickeys because, I mean, it just screamed sauciness to me. I'm like, ooh. Not that they look amazing. I'm sure other people will be like, girl, realistic? No. Does it do the job? Yes. And that is all I care about, is that it looks somewhat believable. But anywho, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed today's tutorial. Make sure that you are staying tuned because there is a lot more to come. We have 7 in total of these amazing looks. So stay tuned, one is coming tomorrow. Thank you again for watching, and I will see each and every one of you guys in the next video. Peace out, watchers.